planning to add some haze effect and the clouds in the foreground over this stock footage. This is gonna be done in Fusion Studio, so let's try it.
Okay, let's start with adjusting our layout. New view layouts and to meet flow vertical, this is what I prefer. And I'm dropping the footage, renaming the node. And checking. So the full length of this shot is 166 frames. Yeah, it's already set up here in the timeline. And now I'm creating a camera tracker node. Why do I need this? Because I need to have depth information from how far the background from the camera, how close the stadium, and those numbers will be needed for the effect. So I'm enabling preview auto track location and adjusting the density of the points. It shouldn't be too dense. First for the faster preview, faster calculation. And second of all, it's not really needed to be super precise in this exact task. And of course, bidirectional tracking and auto track. So it's done. Let's go to check the, yeah, in the camera tab, we don't know the specs of the camera, so I'm relying on the Fusion that it will calculate the focal length, etc. automatically. Going directly to solve page and hit solve. So tracking is done and the average solve error 0.37. This is a good result. I'm satisfied with this one and I'm exporting my scene. I can disable this node and maybe lock just to not change the parameters accidentally and put it somewhere here. Yeah, I don't need the ground plane. And let's see this 3D result. Not bad, but as you can see, the ground surface is tilted. Fusion does this automatically to keep the camera horizontal, but I need actually the opposite. So for fixing this, I'm creating the transform node, transform 3D, and adding that after the merge 3D, after the camera and point clouds. So whole this 3D scene will be rotated, and I'm checking this node in the viewport and rotating by x-axis. I can check that from the left side. And it's more or less horizontal, the ground. That's all right. I can switch off this grid. And let's now check the rendering node, camera tracking render node that's been created automatically. And we can, in the point cloud node, we can enable make renderable option to see them on the render, those markers. Yeah, this one is flying, it should not be there, but the rest are fine. Okay, so the next step would be creating a volume fog node And what I need to plug in it, my 3D scene, a pink input, and my render output to the yellow. So this, uh, if you would try to check this node in the viewport, it will give you the error and that this node is missing one channel, which you can enable easily in the camera tracker node, the render node. That channel is world position. Okay. Yeah, and let's disable point clouds. I don't want to see them. So what you can see here on the screen is a box with imitation of volumetric fog inside, which we can position in a way we like. And let's do it now. So there are few parameters, few tabs in this volume fog tool. So in the shape, of course, you can change to different shapes according to your needs and position the box in the 3D space. And for this task, I'm going to make the far background more consistent, more solid haze effect, and for the foreground, more noisy sort of clouds effect. It means that I'm going to have two volume fog nodes. Let's do the background. So in the scale parameters, let's make it bigger. And I'm going to unlock the size of this container and change the width of this box to, let's say, 10 and make it higher and move it up. So in the color tab, I can adjust the density of it. Let's say this is okay, and setting up the color. Right. What we also can do here in the color tab, we can adjust, sorry, in the shape tab, we can adjust the softness of the edge. I think this is okay. I just want to put it down a bit. Yeah, the parallax isn't really working now, so I need to adjust the position, how far this container would be, and I can do it by Z offset. I move it very, very back there more, so it will stick more or less to the background mountains, something like this. Of course, I need to increase the size. All right. Good. And now let's work on the foreground. Actually, I want to make it more closer to the camera. Not closer, but thicker. And for that, I need to increase this size. Yeah, this is what I need. Oh, that's too much. To have this nice gradient. Yep, that's That's a different story. And I can adjust the density of it. In the color tab with the gain, yeah, you see. All right, now let's add another volume fog node. The input for this one will be previous volume fog as an image input, and same 3D information from this transform node. Go in there. In this volume fog 2 node, my shape can be the sphere, and I can move it closer to the camera, put it right in front of us. Yeah, and the size, of course, should be bigger. Softening the edge. Yeah. Now, what I want to do is to add some noise to it. Let's add noise. Yeah, to see it better, let's move it back a bit. It's cool, right? So we can rotate it. That's actually imitating the 3D object. All right, let's adjust the color. I will grab it from somewhere here. And in the noise tab, we should adjust it. So that's amount of details, how bright is it, how bright it is. So let's start from something like that and increase the size. And maybe rotate slightly. This is too dense, of course. In the noise tab, let's adjust the seed rate. And we can animate this parameter to simulate the wind. So keyframe, changing the value slightly, playing. Maybe this is too much. So let's adjust the how dense this cloud would be. Maybe reducing slightly alpha. It's a quite tricky task to adjust this to look realistic. But if you nailed it, this can look very, very convincing. That's color. And we are done. So let's compare two results. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you will have any questions, I'm ready to answer, and see you in the next one.